my name is Yuri from Mouse, and we are back on Season 3 of the iRacing build. And it's all new, all fresh. The car we're using is so fresh and we don't even have a livery on this yet. And this is the Porsche 992R, just new this season. We're driving Lime Rock Park for week 1. Let's have a look how this car drives. Let's have a look how this track goes. Very short track. Corners coming at you really quick, and so is this onboard. Right, so... Oh, wait. Now I'm ready. Right, so here we are on the shortest track I've done so far, Lime Rock Park. And a new Porsche, new season, everything new, let's go. So coming up for turn 1, we want to be looking at the 2, start braking from the 2, and really important that you keep the inside in turn 1. Because there's a bit of camber if you go from the inside line. So you want to be keeping it on the inside half of the track. Turn 2, braking while turning. Get it to the left here to try to open up turn 3. When we get to the chicane, want to brake after the line, go straight on the left. Make sure to avoid these anti-cuts. Bring it to the left side here. Small tap on the brake. The last corner we should only need a small lift just to get a bit of weight on the front. And back on the power. And that's already a lap done. And ready for another one at Lime Rock Park.
You just hit the fastest lap.
Right, so here we are from the outside cam. Let's take a closer look at the lap. So for turn 1, you want to be braking as close to the grass as you can, looking at the 2 mark on the left side here, and get towards the inside rather early here. So brake into 2, and then start getting to the inside rather early, because there's a lot of camber here on the track. You can't really see it too well. Maybe you can see it from the inside. It's also hard to see, but the inside half of the track here is cambered, and the outside half is straight or even a bit off camber. Which means that if you try to overtake someone or understeer here, it's really easy to go off the track. So what we want to do is we just want to hug the inside for the first part here. Hug the inside, hug the inside. When the curve ends, we can drift a bit towards the middle of the track. Again, not too far to the outside here, because it will be hard to get towards the inside again. And then we go for the second apex of the corner. You want to hit the second apex right after where the curve starts again. You can even run a bit over this here. It also doesn't upset the car too much. Get to the inside again. And then all the way wide. And then we want to bring it at least to the middle of the track here. Before going on the brakes for turn 2. And then be a bit late with the downshift here. If you're too early with the downshift, the rear can get upset. So you want to be braking slowly to the outside here. Be late with the downshift. And I want to be in the middle of the track, and then if you go from the cockpit cam, it's probably easy to see. There's like this a kink in this inside curb here where it starts getting tighter. And we want to go from the outside, and we want to get onto this inside curb right after that kink. And that's at this point here. So you see where it gets tighter here? That's where we want to aim for. So from the middle of the track, we want to get onto this curb just after it gets tighter, which is right here. And the reason we want to do that is we want to keep it fairly tight, because right after turn 2, we already have turn 3 coming up, and it's really important in turn 3 to have a good entry in that one. So we want to bring it to the left, and I like to get to the grass here to open up turn 3 as much as I can. Small tap on the brake. You can take the inside curb here, but I don't like doing it in this car. And then watch the understeer on the exit here. You want to be on throttle early, but the car will start to understeer. And you need to make sure that you're not dipping a tire in the grass here. If you dip a tire in the grass here, it's really hard to avoid this outside tire barrier. And we get to the next straight, back straight. But as everything on this track, everything's fairly small. We want to be bringing it to the middle of the track, and the reason for that is that we want to be braking a straight line. If you hug the inside white line here, it's going to be a bit trickier to brake in a straight line from this point here to the outside. So what I like to do, just make it a bit easier for myself. Get to the outside here, get my car lined up, and brake from here in a straight line to this curb on the left-hand side. And the brake marker I use for this is this edge in the white line here. Again, there's not too many brake markers around, but this edge in the white line works really well. So I want to brake at this edge in the white line, brake onto the curb a bit, as much as you can, without swerving to the left in the braking, so in a straight line onto the curb. Then you can go either second or first gear here. I preferred second when I was doing my laps. And you want to be getting as close to these red anti-cuts as you can, consistently can, without hitting them. If you hit them, the car doesn't just get upset, it flies into the air, and you might get some damage on the car as well. So you want to get as close to these red curbs here without hitting them consistently. This one as well, and then the last one as well. So we want to sacrifice the entry bit, so that once we go on throttle here after the first one, we should be flat out to the top of the hill. And just straight line from here. Bring the car to the outside as much as you can. And we get another tricky point here, where it's quite hard to see where you need to start braking. And there's two hills here on the left side. And I use those to see where I start braking. So you go a bit over the bump here to the outside. And then just after the second one, so there's a bit of a kink in the line as well. Just after that, I tap the brake. And you want to tap the brake just before you start turning in. There's two reasons why we tap the brake. The first one, of course, is we're going too fast, so we need to take a bit of speed out of the car. But the more important one is that tapping the brake puts weight on the front axle of the car. And we want to use that weight on the front axle of the car when we start turning the wheel. So we want to tap the brake just before we start turning the wheel. And how does this look like? Tap the brake, and then turn in immediately after. And that tap of the brake should have put the weight on the front axle, should have got some nice rotation in the car. Once we have that rotation in the car, we can immediately start going to the throttle again, to the outside. Use the curb on the left side here, down the hill. And we want to open up the last corner as much as we can. You turn in a bit earlier than expected here, again because of the camera in the corner. If you take too long to go to the inside, it's really hard to get to the inside. And then the corner could maybe be flat in some weather conditions, but a small lift here, again, small lift means we're not accelerating as hard. That puts a bit more weight on the front axle, and it really helps us make the corner easily here. So you might be able to take a flat in some conditions, but a small lift here won't lose you much time. You're not scrubbing as much speed of the car on the tires because you're not pushing the tire as hard. You have a bit more rotation, and then just easy flat immediately after again. So all the lift you have to do is a tiny lift here before we get to the inside curb. And then you're flat again. And that's a lap around Lime Rock Park. Right, so that was a very quick lap around Lime Rock Park. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Should be pretty fun to hot lap at least this week. Racing will be tricky, especially with 40 minutes. There might be some lap traffic even. I wish everyone good luck, and if you want to see more lap guides like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel.